I see it as so unnecessary, gratuitous, and counterproductive to what I thought the United States was dedicated to, which was trying to defend the security of this country, but also peace and stability around the globe. As the congressman knows, who served, admirably in the military for many years, the Department of Defense really stands for something. And this sort of faux alpha male, strongman image and marketing that Donald Trump is involved in really just sends, I think, again, a wrong signal to the Department of War, particularly with things that have been going on recently. We don't want to, I think, send a signal to our friends and allies around the globe that we are committed to a very aggressive posture. We're going to be engaging in war. We are going to do everything possible to make sure we keep this country strong and safe and secure, and also work closely with our allies and partners around the world. But this marketing gimmick, and that's what it is, and that's what Donald Trump has been involved in for so many years, just these branding efforts to try to show that he is a strongman. It really, hopefully, is not going to do anything at all to the ethos, the real ethos of the Department of Defense, which is, again, to serve their country valiantly, nobly, and also fully consistent with U.S. laws.
Congressman, on the point about branding, he branded himself, Donald Trump, as the candidate of peace. He then branded himself as the president of peace. He also talked about waste, fraud, and abuse. It would cost billions of dollars to change the name on the stationery and the emblems. I'm not sure that that's Americans' number one fiscal priority. And then you have Pete Hegseth saying this. Take a listen.
At your direction, Mr. President, the War Department is going to fight decisively, not endless conflicts. It's going to fight to win, not to lose. We're going to go on offense, not just on defense. Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct.
I didn't know he had more rhymes than Ari Melber, but apparently he does. I mean, what message does that send to our allies and to our enemies?
Well, first of all, look at the message to the American people. We just had an atrocious jobs report that comes out within the last 24 hours, and the president spending his time giving the Secretary of Defense a new nickname, and that's all that this is. But we can take it seriously for a moment. Okay, now it's the Department of War, and they have service members deployed in cities throughout the United States of America. So who exactly are we at war with? But there's an underlying cultural and intellectual motivation behind this nickname change, and that is this belief that we have not had a respectable military since World War II. This is so disrespectful to every living veteran who they very clearly now think are actually suckers and losers who haven't been winners. I got to tell you, I've spent close to 20 years in various forms in the military, active, National Guard, Reserve. Never spent a day in the military where I felt like I was amongst losers or amongst an institution that was culturally degraded. That's how I felt that America's culture at times was a bit off, but not the military's. These are people that come together each and every day and put the mission first. And it's not only a waste of time and a waste of potential resources, as you point to, but it is also just so disrespectful to the institution.
To say the least, the congressman is correct. Let me just say that they are just being so. One thing you got to appreciate about Donald Trump, I guess, if there's anything I can appreciate about the president, is that he is wildly consistent. He is very consistently telling us what he believes, what he's going to do. His people are telling us quite loudly, and I believe that they are doing these things out in public quite loudly. They're not trying to hide them because they don't believe anybody is going to check them. They do not believe they actually have to be accountable to anyone, and that feeling that I have, Director Brennan, is underscored by headline today. Trump is sending 10 stealth fighter planes to Puerto Rico amid war on Caribbean drug cartels. The strike now that we know about of the, I don't even know if it was a drug boat in the Caribbean because we don't know. Am I just supposed to take the administration at their word, Director Brennan? They've been known to lie, so we don't know if they struck a drug cartel in the Caribbean or not. But we know they blew somebody up and they put propaganda video out to underscore it. And then you have this that we are learning about today from the New York Times. The reporting reveals a shocking 2019 SEAL Team 6 mission that was greenlit by Donald Trump that sent SEALs to North Korea in order to plant a listening device. When a boat appeared, the SEALs opened fire and they killed everyone on the boat was likely full of North Korean civilians. This is from the Times today. The Trump administration never told leaders of key committees in Congress that oversee military and intelligence activities about the operation or the findings, government officials said. They sent SEAL Team 6 there. Apparently, Director Brennan is planting a listening device. The device didn't get planted. Civilians allegedly were blown up and were killed. And you know what? Today, the president was asked about that in the Oval Office, and he said he didn't know anything about it. Help me understand, Director Brennan. I am, infuriated by this.
There's a lot there, Simone. First of all, on the North Korean operation, SEAL Team 6 and other elements of U.S. Special Forces have been involved in very risky, dangerous missions and very important missions over the years, and to include some intelligence missions. And so it seems as though this story is just coming to light now, and there was not the appropriate notifications made to Congress, which really should happen. And so, as again, the congressman knows, the U.S. military and the U.S. intelligence community work hand in hand to make sure that the U.S. has insight it needs in order to, again, protect this country. The recent attack or strike against a vessel in the Caribbean and north of Venezuela, it clearly raises some serious concerns, questions about what was the intelligence underlying it. They say, the administration says, that there were members of the Tren de Aragua that were on that vessel engaged in narco trafficking. Well, what we should be doing is taking a very aggressive posture with Latin America, South America, the Caribbean nations, working with them in partnership to try to provide them the training, the equipment, the technology, the capabilities that we can work together against these narco trafficking cartels. But to carry out this type of strike in international waters, I mean, it raises some serious questions about, first of all, the domestic U.S. law basis for such a strike, but also flouting international law. If we thought that this vessel was involved in some type of narcotics activity, there are ways to interdict the ship and to work with it to stop it rather than using lethal force. But again, I think this reflects an attitude of this administration, Department of War. We're going to war and carrying out the strike against this vessel. These individuals on there, they may or may not have been part of Tren de Aragua. Maybe they were trying to leave Venezuela, come to the States. Again, there are some serious questions, and I'm hoping that Congress is going to push the administration, because if this is just the beginning of a much more aggressive and lethal posture in the Caribbean, we are really in for some really tough sledding in the months ahead.